Yeah, we're at the track covering the sport of kings. Coming up in this week's show. It was a Mouttet Mile win and you're in event, the Ian Levy Cup at Jamaica's Caymanas Park. The defending champion and two-time horse of the year, Atomica, in a bold front-running bid to repeat. But would she hold off the fast-closing Barnaby? The 20-year-old Tajay Suckoo continues to show why he is leading the group of recent graduates from the Jockeys School at Caymanas Park. We check in on the latest conquest by Guyanese racing men in other Caribbean territories. And Barbadian jockey Rocco Bowen enjoys his best week this year in the USA. Plus the usual update on Caribbean victories overseas. Our opening story coming from Jamaica. The Ian Levy Cup, the big Caymanas Park feature on Saturday with the stakes pretty high for the winner. Not only the purse at 4 million Jamaican dollars, but also an automatic spot to December's rich Mouttet Mile. The field including Carlton Watson's Horse of the Year, Funcaandun, Robert Halladine in the saddle for the Colt season opener and first outing since his Mouttet Mile win 4 months earlier. 6 of these starters, Barnaby, Tistock, Commandant, Further and Beyond, Atomica and of course Funcaandun, all raced in the December 7 Mouttet Mile. The third place finisher there, Commandant, unbeaten in 2 starts this year, the even money favourite in post position 3. Shevan Maharaj's 2-horse Tistock, the 2-1 second favourite. Number 1 Barnaby and 8 Funcaandun, both at 5-1. Halladine aboard Funcaandun, eyeing a third Ian Levy Cup triumph after back-to-back scores with Nipster in 2020 and Further and Beyond in 2021. A competitive-looking field going 8.5 furlongs with Atomica setting the early fractions on the 6-time champion jockey Omar Walker on a pressured lead, watched in the combox by Brian Rickman.
As they run away down the back stretch and make their way toward the 6. Atomica will get them past the 6 in front. Commandant now coming through on the outside to challenge. Run Julie Run is in a handy spot on the rail. Funcaandun waiting on the front end to fold up. Tistock and Barnaby continue to keep company. A huge gap to power from above and Further and Beyond remains last. They run toward the half mile in the Ian Levy Cup. And Atomica the filly, she hopes to go all the way. Run Julie Run is chasing. Tistock now getting into a handy spot and looking dangerous. Commandant has made good progress. Funcaandun is only 5.5 lengths off. Down forget power from above and Further, and as they've left the 3 and come toward the 5, 16th Atomica. She's fleet of foot and continues to hold a 3 or 4 length advantage. Tistock now let loose and asked to close, but the brave mare Atomica holds that lead at the top of the lane. The rider has a peep in his mirrors and Atomica keeps on rolling. Funcaandun now looks dangerous on the outside of Tistock. Barnaby is over against the rail, but the local bred Atomica has them off their legs inside the final furlong. Atomica brave and hanging tough here. Is Barnaby now coming with a tremendous late burst. Atomica beginning to tire. Barnaby charging and diving, and Barnaby gets there.
A perfectly measured ride by Tevin Foster, reeling in leader Atomica just as Barnaby did in his Chairman's Trophy win in late February. Back-to-back trophy and cup wins now for Ajax-Born's Barnaby, patiently held off the pace down the backstretch, stalking speedy splits of 23-4 by 46-1 by 110-4. Barnaby's late race burst for jockey Foster and leading trainer Anthony Nunes, completing a very satisfying Mouttet Mile qualifying win.
Leaving the quarter pole, Atomica made a little kick, left my ass a little bit flat-footed, but at that time I just get rolling. So I'm leaving to the furlong pole. I see that I had him in hand, so I just keep on riding and rolling him over to come home victorious.
Why this is important, it kind of allows us to set our schedule for him towards the Mouttet Mile on his terms. You know, we don't have to be catching up and trying to make it, and we have to run in this and run in that. You know, by winning this race, it certainly gives us an opportunity to set a nice plan for him, and we'll have no excuses come December.
Barnaby by 3/4 of a length in a mild upset at 5-1 odds, edging the 6-1 bet and last year's winner Atomica, who recorded a sizzling mile split of 1:37 and 1/5. Funcaandun was third. The winning time for the Mouttet Mile win and you're in Ian Levy Cup, 1 minute 43.93 seconds for the mile and 16th run. The even money favourite Commandant did not finish, having been pulled up by champion jockey Radish Roman, who had a 4-timer on the afternoon. To Sunday's card now, when the overnight allowance Linval McFarlane Trophy of a 5-furlong straight was the feature. Robert Halladine and the Red Silks on the outside aboard the favourite Chocomo among the early leaders in a tight race 2 furlongs out.
Chocomo, Joy is golden. They're actually rubbing shoulders. Money Market in the orange sleeves races just toward the center. Over on the far side, it's a bulletproof coffee. Champion Bubbler trying to come into it, but it is Chocomo and Money Market continuing the war with Money Market now moving through to assume the lead. Chocomo with the fight back. Here now is Champion Bubbler exploding and bursting through between horses, and Champion Bubbler will win the Linval McFarlane Trophy.
Lying fifth for most of the race, Champion Bubbler gets a steady ride from Tajay Suckoo and wins, widening the gap on his rivals. The 20-year-old Suckoo lands his 9th win of the season to be joined 6th in the rider standings and leader in the group of most recent graduates from the Jockeys School. The 6-year-old mare with 5 lifetime wins now, 3 of them over the 5 straight course. Champion Bubbler wins the Linval McFarlane by a length and a half over Money Market for owner Lakeland Farms and trainer Spencer Chung, clocking 59.63 seconds for the 5-furlong straight trip. Now, although horse racing in Guyana remains up to this point unregulated, their industry movers are continuing to make footprints throughout the region. You may be aware that Guyanese are co-owners of last month's Barbados Sandalane Gold Cup winner Harrow. And in this March 29 flashback in Trinidad and Tobago racing, we highlight another Guyanese tram. 6 runners here contesting the Royal Charter Handicap. The field, including last year's Derby winner, headlines again, but none of this bunch able to challenge the odds-on favourite owned by the Guyanese Jagdio Racing Stables, Kitten with a Whip, under 58-year-old jockey Ricky Jadu in the light blue silks, cruising forward to take the lead with John Rupert on commentary.
They race past the 900-meter pole, and the leader is C'est La Vie, now being confronted by Kitten with a Whip. So Kitten with a Whip has gone on with the lead. C'est La Vie is back running in second. Headlines again, it races in third. Then comes Arsalan, who is in fourth spot. After Arsalan races El Chico Malo and Princess Royal, the trailer. They come out from the far turn, and Kitten with a Whip is doing this nicely as Headlines again goes in the hunt in second spot. C'est La Vie under a drive in third. After C'est La Vie comes Arsalan, and the 2 trailers continue to be El Chico Malo and Princess Royal. They come to the top of the stretch, and it's Kitten with a Whip out in front. Headlines again in second. C'est La Vie is in third. Arsalan is being hard held inside the final. 200 meters to go, and Kitten with a Whip asserts herself and leads by 7 lengths. C'est La Vie in second spot, then comes Arsalan in third, but it's all over. What a comeback story here. Kitten with a Whip decimates this field.
This was a no contest. Veteran jockey Jadu with a smooth hand ride for the easiest of 3 winners he had on the afternoon. Brilliantly conditioned by trainer Glenn Mendez, the fit again Kitten with a Whip makes a grand return from injury. First run this for the US-bred 7-year-old mare since placing second to Hello World in the Independence Cup in August last year. That's over 7 months ago. Spent recent months recovering from a sesamoid fracture. Guyana's Jagdio Racing Stables Kitten with a Whip wins the Royal Charter Handicap for trainer Glenn Mendez as a 1-2 favourite by 10.5 lengths over C'est La Vie, stopping the clock for 6 3/4 furlongs at 122.07 seconds. Her first Caribbean success is after 7 wins in the USA, mostly racing in Florida and New Jersey. Our final story today coming from Mahoning Valley Racecourse in Ohio, USA, where the Barbadian jockey Rocco Bowen, who has had a pretty slow start to the year, picked up 4 wins in the past week. The richest of them coming Monday afternoon in an upset score aboard the 6-1 bet Hidden Access in a $30,000 claiming event over a mile. Here's Bowen in the black cap closing in on longtime leader It's Official down the home stretch.
Top of the stretch, It's Official. Look at that lead, it's gone. The lead diminishing with every stride. Hidden Access gets run. Needed no basis right there, looking for room on the rail. Hidden Access alongside It's Official. It's Official is game. You got to tip your cap to It's Official. But Hidden Access has taken the lead. Mr. Mobile with late run. Hidden Access.
A former champion jockey at Portland Meadows and Emerald Downs, where he was champion 3 times. Bowen gets a good win here in Monday's 7th race. He would go on to win twice on Tuesday afternoon and had another victory on Wednesday. Hidden Access gets the win by a length and 3/4 for Bowen in a mild upset win at 6-1 odds. The 5-2 bet It's Official third. The 4-5 favourite Need to Know Basis was 4th past the winning post. The winning time for the mile, 1:41.93. Our weekly tally of Caribbean wins now in the USA. Before we go, in the past week since our last show, I've counted 23 victories. Among them, the Jamaican Regime Mirage riding 3 winners at Gulfstream Park, where the Barbadian jockey Micah Husbands won twice. Top Barbadian trainer Safi Joseph Jr. won at Gulfstream Park and Keeneland. And Ajaru Williams from the US Virgin Islands rode a Wednesday double at Parks Racing. We've been at the track, covering top stories and exciting races in the sport of kings. Check us out again next week.